Hello, this is your Mauli sir once again, starting before you a wonderful session with regards to plants this time. Every time we used to talk about animals and others in our biology class, but today we are going to discuss about a very interesting topic relating to the hormonal action on plants. We call the hormones released in plants as phytohormones. Phyta means plant and hormones. So phytohormones are the plant hormones that are released in the plant body. These are exactly the growth regulators. Here regulation relates to two aspects. One is growth promotion and the other is growth inhibition. Means a temporary stoppage or permanent stoppage. Now let us talk about the details with regards to the plant hormones or the phytohormones. See, plants are also called as the major food suppliers. So before getting into the original story of plant hormones, we need to talk about the need for studying these plant hormones. So what exactly is the need to know about these phytohormones? By making a thorough study on this aspect, that is phytohormones, we get to know how to preserve the food that is produced in the plants. And secondly, how if we know which factors influence the growth of the plants that we grow commonly in crops, we can make use of these biochemical substances, that is the plant hormones, in the most judicious manner so that mankind would be benefited. So for preservation of food for longer periods and for growing the plants or crops in a meaningful manner, we require the knowledge of phytohormones. Now let us get into the details one by one. These are of two kinds. The plant growth regulators called as phytohormones are of two kinds. They are growth promoters and growth inhibitors. If we talk about growth promoters, these are again of three kinds. The auxins, the gibberellins and the cytokinins. The auxins. Once again I repeat, auxin means growth promoter. These increase the growth rapidly. They help the cells to divide and divide. Actually, these auxins are said to be present at the tip of the plant. That is the root tip as well as the shoot tip. Means at the apical points of the plant where meristems are present. Meristems are said to be the dividing and redividing tissues in the plant body which promote the elongation of the plant. So they increase the growth of the plant in a longitudinal manner. So auxins are present in the apical zones and hence they bring about apical dominance. You know what is dominance here? The buds which are present in the meristematic tissues, that is the apical points, they are activated by these chemical substance, biochemical substance called as auxin, and the growth is highly accelerated. Whereas the buds which are present in the laterals, the activity in these buds will be just stunted. Means it is stopped temporarily, leaving behind the apical part to grow rapidly. So this increases the height of the plant and hence the auxins do promote the growth of the plant vertically, and this is called as apical dominance. In other words, apical dominance is the suppression of the activity of the lateral buds, increasing the activity of the apical buds, leading to the development of the plant longitudinally. So apical dominance is the first characteristic feature of auxins, and most importantly they bring about stem elongation. So by the tall growth, by the longitudinal growth, by the vertical growth of the plant, we can expect the stem to get elongated. And thirdly, because of the activation of these auxins, we find a positive phototropism of the stem. Means the growth of the stem will be towards the sunlight and the growth of the root will be deeper into the earth, and this leads to the elongation of the plant body. So positive phototropism of the stem and positive geotropism of the root. And these two are the factors mostly influenced by these auxins. And to name, there are natural auxins and even synthesized auxins, means artificial auxins. The natural auxins are indole acetic acid, IAA, we call it in short. Then indole butyric acid, IBA. These two are the naturally formed auxins inside the plant body. Then the artificial auxin is the naphthalene acetic acid. The naphthalene acetic acid is synthesized in the laboratories and it is induced into the plant body to bring about the vertical growth of these plants. So auxins can be synthesized in the laboratory. This is the story of auxins. Actually, a scientist by name Wendt, he discovered the auxins for the first time. Then let us move on to the concept of gibberellins. Gibberellins are also responsible for the growth of the plant. As in the case of auxins, gibberellins too, they contribute for the for the growth of the plant, not of course the vertical growth but the horizontal growth, means the width or the girth of the stem is increased rapidly by the activation of gibberellin. So gibberellins are responsible for the increase in the width of the plant or the, what I can say, perimeter of the stem or the root. The plant body will be enlarged, it bulges due to the addition of more and more cells. The cambial cells will be added up by the action of gibberellic acid. Actually, there is an interesting story about the discovery of gibberellin. That means in Austria in Europe, one farmer had planted a sugarcane crop in one part of his site, that is in his field. Just away from his field, in another field, he also planted some more sugarcane plants. Interestingly, the plants, that is the sugarcane plants which were adjacent to the paddy crop, these showed rapid growth. Why, you know? He found that when exactly what happened is both the sugarcane plantation was taken place at the same time. However, the sugarcane plants, that is the sugarcane crop which was just adjacent to the paddy crop, had grown very well. There was an enormous growth in the size of the stem of the sugarcane. While the matter was taken to the consideration or perusal of the authorities, more and more agricultural scientists came and they explored what had happened. They found that there was a fungal chemical, that is a chemical substance formed from some fungus, was responsible for the increase in the width of the stem. The size of the stem had enormously increased in its perimeter. So this was identified by scientists and that chemical was extracted and it was named as gibberellic acid because it was formed out of the fungus called as Gibberella fusicorae. Gibberella fusicorae is the fungus from which the gibberellic acid was extracted, and this was responsible for the increased stem width in the sugarcane plants, that is in monocot plants. Then the other important aspect with regards to gibberellins is Parthenocarpal. By inducing these gibberellins, even artificially, seedless fruits can be obtained. Parthenocarpal refers to a condition of obtaining seedless fruits such as the grapes and any other fruit. It can be obtained without the seeds. So seedless fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruits, and this parthenocarpy is a resultant aspect of usage of gibberellins over the crop. So gibberellins bring about the economical viability for the farmer. Then thirdly, if we talk about the cytokinins are also growth promoters. These cytokinins, they activate the cell division rapidly. That is, they contribute for the rapid cell division. The pace of the cell division is increased rapidly, leading to the formation of more and more tissues. And this results in the growth. Within a short span of time, you can expect a lot of growth in the plant body. And this results in the growth promotion in plants. So these three are said to be the growth promoters, the auxins, the gibberellins and cytokinins. Now let us move on to the second aspect, the growth inhibitors. Growth inhibitors are those chemical substances, the biochemical substances, which inhibit, which temporarily stop the growth of the plant body. Now here, the first one is undergrowth inhibitors. The first one is abscisic acid. This abscisic acid is responsible for the falling of leaves called as leaf senescence. A layer of abscission is formed at the juncture of the leaf, that is the petiole, where it is attached to the stem or the branch. Now if you talk about the abscisic acid activation, suppose this is the stem. You find the leaf here, forming like this. At the point of contact of the petiole to the stem, an abscission layer will be formed, causing the detachment of the leaf, which might be aged or which might have lost the vigor due to some infections. So this abscission layer is formed, separating the leaf or the fruit from the plant, and that is the abscisic acid's action here in the plants. And during autumn we find the leaves falling down, and this is due to the release of abscisic acid seasonally in the plants, causing the shedding of leaves. So it causes the aging of leaves, exactly to say the aging of plants. Abscisic acid is responsible for falling of leaves or leaf senescence. Then the final one is ethylene. The ethylene is also a growth inhibiting hormone, phytohormone. This causes early ripening of the fruits. This ripening of the fruits can be brought about artificially also by spraying the ethylene. Remember, a very important point here is ethylene is the only gaseous phytohormone. All the others are liquids, and here this ethylene is responsible for the ripening of the fruits. The raw fruits can be easily ripened by using the ethylene hormone. This is used extensively in the horticulture field to reap more and more economic profits by the farmers or by the business people who are dealing the horticultural products, maybe the fruits. So according to the financial position of the businessman or the farmer, ethylene is used extensively nowadays, and the natural ripening is replaced by the usage of ethylene here. So ethylene is the gaseous hormone causing the ripening in fruits. Now let us summarize this lesson. The phytohormones are responsible for the growth regulation in the plants. These are of two kinds. They are the growth promoters and growth inhibitors. Auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins are the growth promoting phytohormones, and abscisic acid and ethylene are the two growth inhibiting hormones. Now with regards to the concept of phytohormones, this is only a short story. For more and more details, we shall do another video, and I hope you have enjoyed this session. And in the next video to come, we will deal with another important topic. Until then, bye bye, take care.